I am Marvelous, SOBALOJU OYEDELE, and together we are going to be riding through the front pages, dissecting the day's most important stories and asking the questions that matter. From the streets of Mokola to the hills of the powerhouse in Abuja, if it's making waves, would drive you through them. So whether it's politics, policy, public opinion, or the pulse of the people, Press Drive puts the news in gear for you. So buckle up this morning, grab your papers or your coffee, and let's get rolling. This is Press Drive. You're welcome. Let's quickly go through the headlines on the front pages, and starting with the Punch this morning, here comes the headlines. Nigeria now spends half its revenue on debt. That's coming from presidential panel, and that's on page 36. 2027, fresh Labour Party crisis as Obi rejects Dati Abure's peace deal. That's on page 7. Also on page 7, National Assembly showdown. Natasha faces police blockade today. Businesses expert raid courts as MPC reconvenes today. That's on page 35. Electricity Act fallout. Gencos, discos rage as states begin tariff courts. Enugu defend power bill slash as Ondo, Plateau, others join tariff courts. Gencos threatens showdown. That's on page 35 of the Punch newspaper. Pension revolt. IG vows action after ex-police officers nationwide protest. That's also on page 31. Services sector fuels 3.13% economic growth, and that you can find on page 36. On page 4 and 5 of the Punch as well, gunmen shoot 2 Nigerians dead in South Africa. And the last headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper, this is on Awujale. Ogun government prepares for legal battle with Ifa Council. Alright, these are the headlines making the rounds for this morning. And away from the Punch, now to the Guardian. On the front page of the Guardian for this morning, Shetima laments depletion of 90% forest cover. That's on page 5. On 2027, PDP declares Tinubu bad product. Convenes 101 NEC meeting. That's on page 3. Awujale's burial. There will be grave repercussions, says Ogun traditional chief. And that's on page 7. Electricity tariff imbalance triggers new subsidy inefficiency debates. $1,729 recovered from Chinese nationals. That you can find on page 7 of The Guardian. From the Daily Trust newspaper, here comes the headlines. Tinubu's directive on Benue crisis yet to be implemented. That's coming from Autumn, and that's on page 24. On page 12 of the same paper, Nigeria sliding towards authoritarianism. That's coming from the NLC. Police pensioners hold protests in Abuja, Kwara, Plateau, others. That's on page 6. And on debasing, Nigerians' GDP hits 372.82 trillion naira's poverty rate gap. Experts laud CBN for driving rates convergence. That's on page 7. Obi's running mate Dati offers to resolve Labour Party crisis. Present at NEC meeting by Abure-led group. That's on page 15. Alright, and away from that, We have this one. IGP cautions protesting ex-police officers against external influence. Protesters insist on exit from contributory pension scheme. That's on page 8. And in health, novel blood tests predict a particular disease months after onset. Alright, you get to check that disease and all about it on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria's economy expands, record 3.13% growth in fourth quarter, and over 250 billion naira UBE intervention fund unutilized by state government. That's coming from UBEC, as Rider says. 92.4 billion naira disbursed in 6 months. That's on page 4. Lagos to launch 500 billion naira agriculture initiative to end food shortage. 3.7 million people face food insecurity in northeastern Nigeria, coming from ICRC. That's on page 13 of the Nigerian Tribune. These are the headlines making the rounds for this morning. And some of the ones we get to check out this morning is the comments made by the NLC saying that the federal governors stealing workers' sweat. We get to address that this morning. Another one to get to talk about is the police pension revolt yesterday. We also get to talk about Senate showdown or likely showdown today between Natasha and the Senate. We get to talk about that, and maybe not. We also get to talk about electricity tariff cuts and how it's sparking reactions between Disco and Gencos. You're welcome again to Press Drive. It is marvelous. I am marvelous SOBALOJU OYEDELE, and with me in the house is Barrister Folusholakbo. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning this morning. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Good morning, Nigerians. I hope you woke up very well and slept peacefully like babies. But I don't know why that babies usually sleep. They cry a lot.
They cry a lot too, especially when they are just arriving.
So I hope you slept, Sha. May God continue to be with us. There's this Yoruba proverb that just crossed my mind now. Especially when I heard what Mrs. Kemi Badenoch said about Nigeria recently. And it says, he who jettisoned his family is a disaster waiting to happen. And to back or I've forgotten the Yoruba interpretation now. Also so because she's been denigrating Nigeria, disparaging Nigeria and all that.
Too much.
But I want you to know that she's Kemi Adegoke, born 1980, so it's just 45 years. So probably she doesn't know that anyone that
made the remark at the opening ceremony of the 21st Rain School of the NLC held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, describing that Nigeria was on the brink of tyranny. Ajaero described Nigeria as a democratic space, the very arena where citizens, especially the working class, face an assault on their rights to free speech, assembly, and participation in governance. According to him, the ongoing clampdown on civic freedoms and union activities is a calculated effort to silence the voices of Nigerian workers ahead of the 2027 general election. According to him, he said, and I quote, "Governance has been abandoned for 2027 politicking. Leaders who should be working to alleviate suffering are instead consumed by power games, leaving workers and ordinary Nigerians to bear the brunt of economic hardship and mounting insecurity, all imposed by the NLC president." Do you also agree with him?
Well, he's saying the obvious,
Okay.
even though he's not doing anything about it. They are
Okay.
just sitting there bearing president of NLC, president of TUC, and their members. What do they do concerning it? Or what are they doing concerning it? When people talk, they hit back that because those monies they spend anyhow, they are using, they are taking belongs to the whole Nigeria and not workers alone. And even amongst the workers too, it appears there is a preference that the labor union will fight for. For instance, when it has to do with civil servants, the union, the labor union will suddenly find their voice and begin to protest. But when it comes to artisans, mechanics, bricklayers, market women, and all these that are facing some tough time with government, what would labor leaders do? Nothing. They will just be looking at them as if they do not belong to, they are not part of NLC. They are, of course, and they know. So it is not when it comes to government alone that NLC should talk. NLC should talk when it comes to every one of their members that are facing some tough times, even in government's hand. Now, that as it may, but is he saying the truth or not? Of course, like I said, he's saying the obvious. The state is not stealing the workers' salaries and workers' sweat alone. It is stealing even the citizens, not workers alone, even the unborn generation sweat, because we have mortgaged this country to the teeth. In fact, the oil was used as mortgage. We mortgage it for loans. The gas, we mortgage it for loans. What do we have? Those are the two things we have. And that is why I heard you reading it now, that we use half of our incomes to pay debt. In fact, that is to say the least. Half is very small, because we've been shouting and we've been shouting that these borrowings are too much. What did government say? No. And when you put the borrowings with the GDP, where is the GDP? The ordinary person does not know GDP. The GDP of an ordinary person is to be able to eat. The GDP of an ordinary person is to be able to cater for his family needs. The GDP of an ordinary person is to see that he's secured. So if those are there, then you can do whatever you like. But these are not there. Even the sweat of unborn generations have been mortgaged. So how do we do it? Where do we go from here? What is the labor doing? What is labor doing concerning the police that were on street yesterday? Did they join them? If not for some civil civil societies and all. But these are our senior citizens. It's not the police alone. In fact, yesterday I thought some other pensioners too will join. It's not the police alone. How can somebody work for 35 years, put his energy for 35 years, and is being paid 10,000 to 22,000 every month, 10,000 naira in this Nigeria, and former head of state, former vice president, former president, former governors, former everything, they
cash out in millions,
and they have to change their cars too. New ones, maybe every year, maybe every 2 years. They have to change their furniture. In fact, they and their families have protection health wise for life. Now Mr. Buhari died. The law says that the country should continue to care for his widow estate that he has in Abuja. An estate, luxury one at that, at the primary,
about the 736
buildings. Can you imagine a civil servant in just one place? And he has in Lagos, he has houses in Lagos, London, everywhere,
even in his hometown.
So what did he want to do with all that? Nothing, but at least to cater for his family for after, when he's no longer in government or when he's no longer working. So is that justified? I'm not saying it is justified, but I'm trying to say that if government refuse to treat their senior citizens well, then we cannot stop corruption. Corruption will continue to thrive, because because they see how president and vice president are being catered for outside work, and for how many years? Probably for 4 years. In fact, Abdusalam Abubakar did 9 months. And for the 9 months, he's enjoying everything for 35 years and are receiving 10,000 naira monthly. May God forgive us in this country.
You know, it's just like the what now? This animal farm book.
Some animals are
more equal than the others.
Yes, they said it. All animals are equal. We are all workers in Nigeria. Even the Mr. President is a senior. I mean, he's a civil servant. He's a public servant. At the end of the day, some public servants or civil servants, are more equal than the ordinary civil servants. May God save us, like I said. May God bless this country.
Okay, I'm happy that you already mentioned the pension revolt as how the IG has vowed to take action as ex-police officers.
That's not vowing. That's just a statement of...
Just to discard them.
Yes, that's not vowing. We've been doing this and I'm going to continue. What is that? What is the major thing that we are able to bring out from there? What is he telling them, really? Because most of us went to school now, and with these things we were taught in school, negotiation. You go for a negotiation and there's no real thing that you are able to bring out from there. Vow. Which vow? He didn't vow. He said, we've been trying to do this to at least to bring you out of contributory pension scheme, and we are going to continue. Hey, and they clapped and they lived there. What's the meaning of that? He has not said anything to me. He said that successive IGs have been trying to remove them from contributing CPS, and since 2004 or 20 whatever, that he will continue. What else is doing concerning it? NNPC, I said NNPC. NSC should have been more involved into the extent that they should gear up. They should set up a committee that will follow up with IGP. He said he's going to do this. He didn't vow. He said it. There's difference between vowing, I'm a lawyer, and we deal with words. So there's difference between vowing and saying something. When you said I'm going to do it, you said it. When you vow, that means you swore. So to do it, there's a difference between the two. So when if he said that he's going to do it, which it was reported he said, then there should have been a committee amongst the retirees to follow up that decision. So then we will say, okay, something is working. But this one that they've told them they've gone back home to sleep, what if he didn't do it?
They'll come back again.
Yeah, may God help us.
But let's talk about welfare of the police force entirely, because words out there seems to be saying that the welfare of police officers are not something to be proud of, and these are serving cops. And if current and serving police officers are not well taken care of, how much more those that are already gone? And
that's why they are killing anyhow.
And that's why exactly that's where I'm going. That's exactly why they are usually more to our disadvantage than our advantage.
Crimes where senior citizens are treated better than even the ones that are working. Because they know that all of us are going to become senior citizens one day. So, and whether you are working or in fact you are happy working for government. A Peter Rufai died. That is the goalkeeper of Nigeria for several years. It was just like that. What did government do? He was sick several for years. What did government do to alleviate his suffering?
Condolence
messages.
Let's move away from that. Now let's come to Electricity Act fallout. Genco's discos rage as states begin tariff cuts. Many states have announced plans to reduce electricity tariffs in their jurisdiction after the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission issued a new tariff order to Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited, revising its electricity costs for Band A customers from 209 naira per kilowatt hours to 160 naira per kilowatt hours, effective August 1st, 2025. This is, however, vehemently opposed by power generation and distribution companies, who claimed that the move may cripple the sector, as the Gencos declared that the industry is indebted to power producers in the tune of 5 trillion naira. As the Gencos and Discos attacked Tishon, stressing that it allowed all required processes to in accordance with the Electricity Act 2023. These states are Enugu, Ondo, Ekiti, Imo, Oyo, Edo, and Kogi. Other states include Lagos, Ogun, Niger, and Plateau are expected to complete their transition between now and September.
Yeah, one thing I like about this is that at the end of the day, electricity is no longer the exclusive list of the federal government.
I like that.
I like that, and it is what culminates into this.
That's why they can brag and they can negotiate.
Yeah.
It's either you or you do
what you want to do, and they are doing it. Whether you like it or not, we don't care. At least we are the owner of our light. So, but they cannot do that again, fortunately. And again, another thing that gladdens me is the power plant of Mr. Deji Adeleke that has been completed in Ajebandele in Ondo State. That is about 1,250 megawatts. Only one person was able to build that within a short time.
One person.
Only one person.
How
what
much
is happening to this
federated?
country? Kilon Shewa, why can't we get things right? If only one person could build about 650,000 barrels of what is it, refinery per day, and only one person is building 1,250 megawatts of electricity per day. So what is the state, I mean the federal government, doing? Nigeria as a whole, as a person, what are they doing? What why are we not getting it right? Or is it because sometimes I just think I overthink this country? Maybe because if ordinary person, they are not ordinary, please, I'm just using that as quote and unquote, I beg. If one person could do that, could achieve that feat within a short period, and how many billions of dollars we have wasted in electricity in this country, and it's not working, and at the end of the day they will still be bringing armed robber light bills.
That was safety.
In fact, to be sincere, no light, you have to pay for darkness, and if you do not pay, some of them will still come and cut your light, even against their own laws too, because there is
an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. It is imperative that parents prioritize education for the growth and future of their children by enrolling them to a school that can help develop their capacity and potentials.
I-FLIER provide a serene environment, accommodating reception, well-equipped laboratory for biology, physics and chemistry, fully furnished classrooms, counseling rooms, e-library, halls for conferences, institutions, standby generator, mini-mart, among others.
Yes!
I-FLIER International School
can boast of inspiring, captivating curriculum, academic excellence, social amenities and structures, as well as dedicated teachers who are more than ready to train your children academically and morally.
Admission is ongoing. Enroll your child to a primary and secondary classes today and enjoy the dividends of modern and quality education.
Join the high-flying team and visit us today at Unit 1 to 5, I-FLIER College Road, Ogungbade, Ibadan. For further inquiry, call 0815-815-8707
or 0805-331-6634. I-FLIER International School.
Nurturing I-FLIERs.
All right, welcome back. So suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan appear poised to resume plenary today, despite warnings from the Senate that a suspension remains in force and binding. The lawmaker representing Kogi Central, who was suspended in March, revealed over the weekend that she had formally notified the Senate of her intention to return, citing a recent court decision as a basis. According to her, she said, and I quote, "I have pretty much 2 months before the 6 months expire. However, I have written to the Senate again, telling them that I am resuming on the 22nd, which is on Tuesday, by the special grace of God. I will be there because the court did decide on that. Now, they argue that it's an order. It's not an order, but it is a decision." End of quote. Akpoti Duagan insisted that while a suspension did not stop her from executing constituency projects, it had obstructed her ability to carry out vital legislative functions like sponsoring bills and moving motions. Backing her stance, her lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, West Idahosa, maintained that the court judgment.
If she hasn't done that, then she doesn't have the legal right to resume, because one have to follow another. So the court said, and the court said you should pay 5 million naira to the court too, not to the Senate. So I think the Senate is modeling things up. It is not to the Fed. All those others were either for court or for Senate. The one that has to do with the Senate is the resumption. The one that has to do with the court is the fine and the apology. So we should not model the two. Now, she can't just decide to go to Senate on her own. It's illegal, because that would be self-help.
Okay.
Yeah. So if Senate refused her to come back, she has the right to go back to court. And not only that, the Senate had appealed that judgment. Okay. And they filed a process to to stop the implementation of that court order. Okay. So if that is the case too, she have to wait, because if she were on the side of the court too, I mean the Senate, she will do the same. And I told us that immediately this thing came up, that the CTC of that judgment is necessary for them to be able to do whatever the court said they should do. She needed it, the Senate needed it, and both of them has seen it. So now that they have seen it, that judgment did not go well with the Senate, and so they appeal. It is a right, a constitution allowing her back to the House, but it is not by way of trying to do it your own. You can go back to the court. The sheriff is there. The sheriff is an officer of court that usually implement or enforce the rule of court. So it is not something that she can do. I think the last time her lawyer advised her to take it easy. I don't know why she's doing that. To be sincere, I do not think that she should do it, because as a lawyer too, you have to respect the law.
3.3 FM live, 0705 510 33, 0905 444 1033. From the Facebook, Olashainde Habib Kamadupa says, "Well done," from Akwemi area in Ibadan. And Aroni Yaya says, "Good morning." Good morning to you too. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning
My
to you.
name is SOBALOJU.
You're welcome.
Just want to comment on the issue of Natasha, who said to resume today. You should take it lightly. You should not foment trouble. If the power to be doesn't want her to resume, you should go back to court. You should not take law into his hand. Secondly, on the issue of Monetary Policy Committee of CBN that said to convene another meeting. Convert interest is too much, because it's high interest. No drive in Nigeria after a working day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Labi. Tolulope Adeyemi from the Facebook says, "Good morning. It's quite disheartening. The power that."
No, we're talking about it. mọ̀ ń san àdúgbò ń san kẹ́ńdà kó àkójọba ó ní àfikún yìí náà agbọ́dọ̀ la ojú wa lẹ̀ ní 2027 yìí ni àwọn kágbẹ́gbẹ́sẹ̀ lórí ìjọba yìí ni nǹkan owó tẹ̀yìn ń dá tẹ̀mí ń dá owó orí ó ní àwọn nọ́ọ̀sẹ̀nsì ìṣèjọsọ̀ mi káàkiri yìí bí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ìjà wa náà rìtáyà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ó ọdún 2300 naira lọ́wọ́ ọmọ mi lẹ́nu lọ́dún ìwé ọmọ mi tó wà lọ́dọ̀ mi ni o tó ń tọ́jú mi ni o ṣé màá ṣe é sílẹ̀ ni it's not good it's not fair agbọ́dọ̀ la ojú wa lẹ̀ ní nàìjíríà báyìí kámẹ́ntó yẹ ká tó gbé sí ipò ó ti tó gẹ́ ó ti tó coalition ṣe ń ṣe yìí ọlọ́run tó ṣiṣẹ́ fún wa nàìjíríà àwọn ọlọ́pàá jẹ́ tó ṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́jìyà gidigidi fún wa nàìjíríà ẹ̀tọ́ wa fún ẹni tẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ wa tó lórí owó tẹ́ tó ń gbà tó yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ káàdì náà kẹ́lá kẹ́kẹ́ ló sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ máa bá ìdùnnú.
Thank you very much, sir. But please would appreciate that our callers speak in English. So, because it's press drive, if you really want to speak in Yoruba, you might have to wait for Ketepe Iroin. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Hello, good morning, my son.
Yeah, good morning this morning,
Good
doctor.
morning.
How are you, sir?
Daddy! Your voice is different
Yes,
this
sir.
morning.
I just woke up.
Hey!
You are welcome.
You need it.
Yes, sir.
Now, on the issue of Natasha,
Right.
I think you will be seeing a personal vehicle donated by the government. If the government is not ready, not sending the security vote to the CRC, would they be holding a commercial cab to be running after perpetrator? It is very, very unfortunate. They should, the federal government should review their salary. I think that the life will be meaningful for them. That's my submission. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Prince Bumi Adefusi. And we have more from the fashion Isiaka. Says, good morning this morning. Marvelous Shop says, good morning, Sama. Why are retired police officers protesting? I thought they can never protest because same police shoots.
Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much for that. And Sulaiman Sharif says, good morning, and kudos to everyone in the studio. Unfortunately, most of Nigerian police retiring with into poverty due to poor pensions and poor welfareism. The federal government should do all possible to right the wrongs as far as pension and remuneration of officers of the Nigerian police force is concerned. As serving policemen and women need better and reasonable salaries and pay the retired police officers good and reasonable pension. Thank you. Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes. Now, I salute the analysis of my contribution is that when the government are refusing to pay the salary of retirees, how are they going to stop the insurgents, the kidnapper in the country? Don't you think if they refuse to pay the pay, I'm afraid this country, we should think twice to coming 2027. And by this, I want to ask you a question.
Right.
Who do you think we are going to vote for? Because you always against those that are gathering themselves together. Thank you.
All right, you didn't tell us your name. Hello?
It's gone.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Anyways, I mean, all the candidates are not out yet. What's in your light? Is this Nigeria? In this Nigeria, my son, which section of the Constitution is right? Actually, because I'm just knowing
Yes,
that myself.
it's the law. You must be given a notice, but the duration I don't know.
Okay.
But I know it is compulsory
That-
that you'll be given a notice
Okay.
before your light is cut.
Right. Okay, and Sulaiman Sharif says electricity is paid for every